Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I wanted to do something different this week as long as doing something that I felt like should have been on my channel, which is a crocheting tutorial. Now I'm just a beginner, so I guess I felt self-conscious about doing a tutorial, but this is from a beginner to a beginner. And so you're gonna look at the skein roll, and usually on the label they have the recommended hook size. I've heard that most people just vibe out though and do the hook that they please. Still turns out great, still turns out okay, and you know, all that, but that's for a different day. Right here I'm unraveling my yarn to prepare, and I'm going to do 3 different basic crochet patterns that are kind of well-known starters if you're starting a project, or you know, you don't have to use it as a starter, but it's just one of the key basics. So first thing I'm going to do is create a slip knot, and that is done where you take 2, I guess, strands, you would say, and then twist them and then pull one strand through the loop, but not completely, so it can create like a loop for a working strand and then like a dead strand, I guess. Then you're going to put your hook and you're going to tighten the slip knot with the dead strand or the working strand, whatever works for you, but either way, just tighten it pulling the 2. I apologize for the perspective in which I'm teaching this. It wasn't the best, and I'm gonna do better next time, promise. To create that slip knot, you're going to do what is called a chain stitch, and that is pretty much the beginning for all crochet projects. From a better perspective, you're going to chain stitch like so. You are going to pull the strand into the loop, like so. And you just do that until you get the number of chain stitches that you feel like you need. I would recommend that you count your stitches in this phase as well. Now you have your chain stitch, and you can start either the foundation or just go straight into the pattern, but usually people start with the foundation for a sturdier project, I guess. Start with a single crochet stitch, which is the easiest foundation stitch in my opinion. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna skip the first hole, and you're gonna go into the second hole with this stitch. So skip the first hole that the working strand is coming out of, and you're going to go into the second one, as you see here. If you watch other tutorials, you'll usually notice that they skip stitches during this part, and that's usually so it can mimic the height of the stitch. For clearer examples, you know, as we go on. But you go through the second stitch and you pull that strand. And I'm going to do it again for you. So you go into the second stitch, and then you pull that strand. And from doing that, you'll have 2 loops. As you see here, I have 1 and 2, 1 and 2. You're supposed to have 2 loops once you pull the strand. And then you pull another strand, and you pull it through the 2 loops. And then from that, you have your first single crochet. And we're gonna repeat this process. I feel like for single crochet, it's a lot simpler, you're gonna see, than the other 2. But yeah, you go from the stitch you just left, and go into the next empty stitch, and you insert and you pull the strand, and like before, after you pull it, you will have 2 loops. Make sure you have 2 loops, and when you see 2 loops, you're gonna then pull the strand. You're gonna pull the strand again, and you're gonna pull through the 2 loops, and boom, another single crochet stitch. I apologize, this yarn is kind of like crinkly, so it's hard to see the stitches. But this is just some of the yarn that I had left, so I do apologize. And my overlays just, of course, they had to be off key, but you know, we're gonna make it work. After leaving the working stitch, once again, you're going to go into the next empty stitch. Sorry, that was a mistake. Ignore that I did that. You're going to go into the next empty stitch, like I'm doing here. I'm pulling it apart just for you guys to see it a little better, because I know that the texture is just a bit different for this yarn. And then you're going to go into the empty stitch, you're going to pull the strand, and you're going to get 2 loops once again. And then you're going to pull the strand again and pull through those 2 loops. I was having a bit of struggle here, but it's okay, we made it through. And from that, you have 3 single crochet stitches, as you can see here. They usually call these foundational stitches for a reason, because it's from these stitches that you start with that you usually work in your actual pattern in. But like I said, not everyone does that, and that's okay. Next, we are doing what is called the half double crochet. And you know, it's not a double crochet, it's half of the double, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure how to describe it, to be honest. So this stitch, you're going to actually skip 2 stitches. So from the working stitch, you're going to skip 2 stitches. Once again, ignore the overlays, they are off key, sadly. But yes, you're going to skip 2 open stitches and you're going to go into the 3rd open stitch from the working stitch. So count after the working stitch, which is the stitch that your hook is in. Now for this step, as you kind of saw me doing earlier, you're going to do what they call yarning over. And so that is just getting a strand over the hook before you enter the working stitch. So I'm going to do it again. You're going to yarn over. And with that, you're going to insert your hook into the open stitch. I'm going to do it again for you because I know, you know, it might be hard to follow. Insert into the working stitch and then you're going to collect the strand. And from there, you're going to have 3 loops instead of 2 because you yarned over earlier. Let's do it again because it does not hurt to do it again. So from the working stitch, you're going to count 3 stitches. So from the working stitch, as you see here, pointing with my thumb, you're going to count 1, 2, 3. You're going to yarn over, and then you're going to insert. When you insert into the open stitch, you're going to collect the strand. You will have 3 loops instead of 2, 3. And then when you have those 3 loops, you are going to then pull the strand through all 3 loops. I should be doing that soon. Yes, you're going to pull the strand through all 3 loops. It's still kind of a struggle for me to do this, I'm not going to lie, so I just use my other hand to help. And that's when you get your half double stitch. It doesn't look too different from the single stitch, but you'll see the difference a little later. Like before, instead of skipping through this time, you're just going to go into the next working stitch. So just the next empty one. You are then going to yarn over. And after you yarn over, you are going to insert into the empty stitch. Insert, of course, you grab the strand. You'll have 3 loops like before. Not 2, but 3. When you have your 3 loops, you're going to pull the strand again and then pull it through all 3 loops. I don't know if you can see the double crochet shape starting to take form, but like I said, I'll show a comparison a little later. I'm going to do it one more time for you guys, and I really hope that I'm explaining this well. Like I said, I'm still, I consider myself a beginner, so I'm just trying to explain this at least how I would want someone to explain it to me. So I really hope that is what I'm doing. Now we have 3 double crochet stitches, and I'm just going to go ahead and complete it so I can show you guys what a single crochet and then what a half double crochet looks like side by side. And as you can see, the half double crochet just a little taller, not too tall, but just a little taller than the single crochet. As you can see, not much of a difference, but there is a slight difference that I see, I guess, working with different yarn. But like I said, this is not the best tutorial yarn, so bear with me. Now we're going to start with our triple crochet stitch, which is not done a lot, but I just wanted to include it anyways, just in case, you know, you want to be that guru. This one is a little bit more complicated, but also not too hard as well. For the working stitch, you're going to skip a total of 4 stitches. Oh, my overlays are working with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you are going to insert in the 5th open stitch. For this stitch, you're going to yarn over twice. Yes, twice. That's not the only complication. Once you've yarned over twice, you're going to go into the 5th open stitch. Remember, skip 4. You're going to insert, collect the strand, and you're going to have 4 loops. Not 3, not 2, 4 loops. Make sure you have 4. We are going to do it again because it does not hurt at all. So from your working stitch, you're going to yarn over twice and then count 4 open stitches and insert into the 5th open stitch. You're going to collect the strand, pull through the loop. I was definitely struggling here. Pull through the loop until you get 4 loops, as you see here. Now this is kind of the complicated part, okay? with the 4 loops, you are not going to pull through all 4. Instead, you're going to have a little rhythm with these pulls. First up, you're going to look at the first 2 loops, and you're going to pull the strand through the first 2, as you see here. And then you're going to be left with 3 loops this time, instead of 4, when you pull through the first 2. You're going to repeat it again. Get the strand, pull through another 2 loops until you end up with 2 loops after that. So it's kind of a rhythm. I don't know if you're catching on, but it is like a rhythm here. After that, you're going to collect the strand again and then pull through the last 2 loops. After that, you see that you have created this tall triple crochet stitch. I was talking about earlier, we skipped stitches for the starting one to mimic the height of the stitch. We're gonna do it again. Yarn over twice, like the last time. We are not counting 4 open stitches this time. We're just gonna go into the next open stitch. Going to insert into the next open stitch. From there, you are going to pull the strand through the open stitch until you have 4 loops like the last time. When you have those 4 loops, you're going to pull the strand into the first 2 loops. Then of course you'll get 3. It's kind of like a countdown, I guess. Now, collect the strand and go through the next 2 loops. Now you only have 2 loops, and now collect the strands so you can go through the final 2 loops. Then boom, we have 2 triple crochet stitches. As you can see, they're pretty freaking tall, which is why it's important to mimic the height in the beginning so they have space to, you know, look like they're supposed to. I'm going to go ahead and do, I don't know how many more I do, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this so I can show you the comparison of the last 2 stitch types. As you can see, I have finished, well, the row, at least as far as I want it to go. Pretty chunky foundational stitch, I'm going to tell you that, but it can make pretty cool projects with it. And as you can see, the height difference, like I said, the single and the half double, kind of have to give it a good look, but the triple is a very obvious height difference. And these are all great foundational stitches to start your projects. I feel like, you know, they're the easiest to do, and yeah, great for beginners, of course. That way, when you go to the next row, which I'll probably do a video on that a little later, you have a good foundational stitch to start your patterns on. And of course, as I get better, I will share more tips and maybe revise some pointers, but I really hope this helped. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Swear next time I'm going to have better yarn, okay? But I hope that this was good enough to get the point across. If you want to start crocheting, this is your sign to do so. Go ahead and get the skein and the hook, okay? Bye. From my dating experiences that I've had, or just, I don't know,